Widely ho, what Higgins is for, John Scott, but you know that already. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite things in all the world, hammers. I know, right? Well, I mean, what is a blacksmith without hammers? I pretty much went through my entire life working jobs that use hammers. So yeah, I'm a hammer freak. I'd like to start off with that I will be adding to me a classification of hammers. Basically, most people don't, and feel free not to if you don't choose to. But I basically have started my hammer groupings with hot work hammers, cold work hammers, and planing hammers. Um, and the planing hammers are just entirely because of how you have to maintain it, especially when they're properly textured or have a proper texture. They need to be maintained, and then of course cold work hammers is when you're using, or I use this particular hammer. You'll see me use it a lot, but only when I'm hitting another tool with it, cold steel. And the reason why I separate a couple of reasons. One is that when you hit hard metal on hard metal, it something gives, and so the damages the surface, the face of the hammer. And I definitely want my hot hammers as smooth as possible. So if I take my hot hammer and hit a cold chisel with it and marks up the face, I have to redress it. So that's why I classify mine out into that grouping. Now talking about hammers themselves, I'm going to use this hammer as a reference. Basically, you have this is the head. This particular right here is the face. This back section is the peen. This is the cheek, and of course, then this is the eye. And now that's the basically the different parts. This obviously is it's called a ball peen hammer, and ball peens, the ball itself comes in a wide variety of roundness. Basically, a ball peen hammer is any hammer that has a segment and it's rounded, hard rounded like this. Now I want to bring attention to my, I need to face it anyway. This is my go-to hammer, and like I said, you being you find out what works best for you. Me, my primary hammer is a modified 4-pound engineered hammer. I turned into a rounding hammer. On this side, which I need to redress, it is obviously the flat side, and then on this side, it has a rounded dome to it. And here in a minute, we'll talk about how the various heads affect metal. Then you have also, back to this one, this just what is a general peen, and they come in 2 categories. This is a cross peen, and the cross, straight, and diagonal aspects of the peen is in reference to the handle. And this is obviously the handle this way, and the peen is crossing it. So therefore, it is a cross peen. I don't have a straight peen here, but then for the diagonal is this one. I'm not sure. As you can see, its reference is diagonal to the handle. And it's called a double peen because it doesn't actually have a hammer head, face. It's just peened. And this one And you're going, that's a claw hammer. Well, yes, it is. But the claw part is technically a peen. And I have seen them where they have been like this across, and I have seen them sideways and gone with. So it is still, the claw is still a peen. Now there is no hammers with like duck-bill hammers. A highly aggressive hammer because of how the weight shifts and the force. So they don't have a peen. It's one strike, one way only. Now, when you grip your hammer, the handle has parts. The handle has parts. Basically, and I can't remember the name of it. The part that fits in the eye. From there up has a specific name all to itself. From here to about halfway down is called the shaft. From that point to about a third from the way down is called the grip. And then the bottom is the pummel. Now I know you can't see the difference, it just all looks like one, but as you see from here to here, shaft, my hand, half to there, and the reason why this is such an important hole in your hammer is because of the vibration, which is why I say never ever choke up, never hold your hammer like this. It causes way too much vibration to kick up your arm, and it will mess up your shoulder and your elbow like you won't believe. So always hold your hammer so that one half, one third, right there is where you're supposed to be. And if it's too heavy for you, go to a lighter hammer. There's nothing that says that you can't use a lighter hammer. Just because I use a 4-pound hammer most of the time doesn't mean you have to. Because there are times when I'm doing work under a quarter of an inch. I'll grab this guy off. Now mostly I use him for planishing on the face and for setting rivets with the peen. And this one, moving on to the next set, is a not brand new, but unused 4-pound engineer hammer from Harbor Freight. That has, I don't know if the warp is in the eye, or the casting defect, or in the handle, but I've decided it doesn't matter because I've been wanting to modify it and turn it into a draw hammer. And now, you're probably going, well, why haven't you talked about how the shades affect metal? Well, that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to start with, on that subject, the rounding hammer. When you hit with the ball of it, not the flat, but the ball, what ball it is, when you hit it, it causes the metal to go out uniformly from the center in all directions. Sorry, ankles bother me. Anyway, it does it more faster, pushes it more out faster than the flat does. And now when you take, I'll use the diagonal here. Now, if you want, this is how it has, it's flat this way. It has a nice radius to it this way. That's because, so when you use it, it doesn't force the metal, it does a teeny bit, but mostly it applies the pressure so it moves it, instead of moving it this way, it it puts its movement all into this way. So if you want to stretch metal out in one direction, but don't want it to go into other directions, you want to use something like this. And that's why we're doing it. Make them like that. Which brings me to the reason why we're here, and that is that I've been working on the draw hammers, and I will be grinding this a little bit, at least until it gets too hot and I have to stop and let it cool off. And we'll talk about it, because this is basically facing, a part of facing and keeping and maintaining our tools. So let me go ahead and tilt you down, and this is going to end up being a cross peen, and it's basically an experiment. So I'll go ahead and tilt you down to the sanding machine, and we'll get to grinding on it, and we'll see what happens at the end, at the end of one heat. Well, until it gets too hot to handle. Okay. Now, as you can see here, the hammer, I'm making it flat this way, and I'm crossing the peen with it, and then it came for the all around round to it. And as you can see, it is going to take a while, and it's starting to get warm, not too warm to touch, but we can still grind on it some more. Yes. A grinding we will go. It's hot to the touch now, so we're going to go ahead and call it. I'll finish grinding on it, and when we get to testing the draw hammers, we'll we'll go from there. Anyway, I will see you next episode. Don't forget that you want that notify button so you have all of those reminders. Anyway, remember, till next time, you're always wonderful people. But until next, I'll see you. Until next time, see you then.